Hi everyone, this is the Fair Dinkum Vegetarian here. How you going? As you can tell, I'm Australian. The reason for this post is basically I just want to say that not all vegetarians are thin, pale, sickly looking people. I get a few comments. I recently turned vegetarian. I've been veggie for about 6 months, and people tend to think that I've all of a sudden turned into a tree-hugging hippie. I don't own a Prius. I'm not a member of the Wilderness Society, Greenpeace or PETA, so I'm just a normal guy, married with 2 kids, work a 9-to-5 job, who for one reason or another, actually the inspiration came from my little girl, decided that I was not going to eat meat. I basically stopped eating meat and then started again, and then found out that I felt better not eating it. So that's basically, in a nutshell, the reason. There's a lot of reasons beyond that. But as I like to say, I'm just a regular guy. There's nothing significant about me. There's nothing different about me. I just choose to eat meat. One thing that I want to sort of touch on is that there's been a lot of things happening here in Australia, and in particular with the cattle that are going over to Indonesia for slaughter. A couple of funny things. The term humane slaughter is being used quite a bit, which I find relatively funny because I don't know what type of humane slaughter or what they mean by that term. Whether it's a way that we'd like to slaughter other humans and therefore it's okay for animals, that's fine. Or if it's a way that the humans feel better about the slaughter, because I don't think the animals feel a hell of a lot better about the slaughter. Another thing I think is funny in relation to this is everyone tends to be going on about their Australian cattle, and we should treat them as Australian. They should be treated as Australian, and they're Australian. The cattle don't know that they're Australian. They just know that they grew up next to their mother and their siblings and people around them, and they had a lot of fun, and they ate some food, and all of a sudden something scared happened, so they ran onto a truck and it moved and they didn't, and then they got herded onto a boat and it moved and they didn't, and then the boat stopped and then they moved again. And then all of a sudden Fred in front of me is getting his throat cut and being cut up in front of me, and oh my god, it's my turn. So they don't know, they don't care whether they're Australian, and we shouldn't care whether they're Australian or not. The internet's a powerful place, people. Go and do your research, go and have a look at how things are, how meat is manufactured. Even the term manufactured is mind-bogglingly bad. It's industrialized, it's a whole process, and let's examine the effect that does to the environment, the effect that it does to what we're doing. We're not instinctively, I believe, meant to be meat eaters. Or primarily meat eaters. We're meant to eat meat maybe some of the time, but in this day and society we actually don't need to, which is again why I'm probably a vegetarian. And just think of what it's doing to our bodies. Our bodies, again, aren't set up to eat meat. Every time I see a bit of roadkill, I don't instantly start salivating, want to go over there for an afternoon snack and have to growl it, or the 10 other blokes that are around there chewing on the dead carcass. So, I'm not a carnivore. I don't salivate at the stench of dead meat. Tells me a fair bit about myself, to be honest. One thing I realised as well in becoming vegetarian for the past 6 months is once you remove the meat from the meat and 3 vegetable or meat and rice equation, it actually opens up a whole wide world of possibilities of food. And people still do ask, what do you eat and things like that, and is it a bit different? And yes, it is, but it so opens up a wonderful world of different types of food, and really expands your way of thinking. Shout out MasterChef. If you're going to have dishes that aren't meat or don't have meat, eat them. Promote them as vegetarian. Let's do a veggie special one day on MasterChef. It's a market out there, and I believe it's growing. So I think I'll get into food in another blog, and we'll expand that concept a little bit further. But right now, this is my first blog. Thank you very much if you've downloaded and had a look. Hope you enjoyed. And look, I'll touch base from time to time and give you my views on the world, being a fair dinkum vegetarian. No crap, no bullshit, vegetarian as it should be. Thanks.